Us INFJs, we do some pretty weird things. Because only 1 to 2% of the population is the INFJ personality type, many of you are out there walking around every single day wondering if what you're doing is weird or if it's actually perfectly normal. Today I'm going to go over 7 things that you might do as an INFJ that sound kind of weird, but are actually 100% normal. Number 1, INFJs often research a person or a topic obsessively. When I get interested in a person or a topic, I research it obsessively. Usually if it's a person, it's a public or a historical figure. I'm not that weird. But anyway, when I get interested, I dive into that topic completely. Like I'm some kind of
information vampire.
And this can last hours, it can last days, it can even last months. After a while it ends, and while I do always keep some kind of interest in the discarded topic, I lose the obsession once I feel I've gotten all the useful information I can from the person or topic. Then I sort of door slam that topic, and I may not come back to it again for months or years. And my relationship with that topic will never be the same. Some of my past obsessions have been snakes, lifting weights, dinosaurs, Custer's Last Stand, and cutting hair. Wow, those are really all over the place, aren't they? Anyway, the internet feeds this obsessive researching as well, leading the INFJ down rabbit holes that leads to other people and other topics. But since INFJs are big picture thinkers, we'll often tie topics together that may seem miles apart to other personality types. This is useful for analogies. INFJs love analogies and metaphors that we can use when teaching other people. Be sure and let me know some of your past interests in the comments below. Number 2, INFJs delay making phone calls. I also delay taking phone calls if possible. I just don't like phone calls. I think it's a phobia. That was terrible. Unexpected phone calls are jarring and they can freak us INFJs out. One theory I have for this is when you're on the phone, you can't really plan out what you're going to say, and so it's a lot easier to say the wrong thing. Also, there's no facial expressions involved, and we like that. And this one also applies to text messages, although not to the same degree. And that's because words can mean different things, and people can misinterpret what you're writing. Still, text messages are less anxiety-producing because at least you have time to plan your words. And there are a couple things on this one. I do have long phone conversations from time to time with certain specific people, but they're people that I have strong connection with. Also, this phone phobia can be improved with practice, and the discomfort will lessen considerably if you work through it. Number 3, INFJs talk to themselves. No, you're fine, Jay. You still have time to go to the grocery after this. You're fine. Oh, hey, INFJs talk to themselves a lot. And while a lot of personality types do this, the INFJ often talks out loud to themselves to work through issues in their life, to solve problems, and to calm their anxiety. By saying things out loud, we can work through our thoughts and ideas by getting these things out of our heads. It makes things real in a sense, and this helps us to stay on track and get things done efficiently. Also, if you always talk to yourself in your head, I actually recommend talking out loud to yourself to externalize things. I personally think it's an INFJ performance booster. Hey, if you're tired of not fitting in and feeling like an outcast, I want to change your life. I want to give you a place to learn, grow, and belong. I want you to become a part of the circle. So if this video is helping you, consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the INFJ Circle. Number 4, INFJs tell straight up and honest emotional truths. INFJs have a unique ability to share details about the things that challenge us, especially emotionally. And we're great at working through relational problems. An example would be explaining to someone why you think the relationship between you two has changed. You might say, well, I don't think we're communicating like we used to. Here's how we can work on this. Sadly, in that situation, most people will look at you like they have no idea what you're talking about. Talking out in the open about emotions, how to change things, how to resolve things, it's easy for us, but it's very challenging for most other personality types. In fact, what you're saying to them is probably hitting them up the side of the head like a ton of bricks, and they can even get mad at you for it. And that's because they just haven't put in the time to think about how the issue could be resolved. They haven't put together all of the clues like the INFJ has. The INFJ personality type is really good at self-improvement, even if we do procrastinate sometimes. Many other types are resistant to that improvement, and they can even rebel against it. Number 5, the INFJ stare. Now this one's a little strange, But if you look this up online, the INFJ stare is basically just looking at someone in the eye while you're talking to them. I guess us INFJs have a very focused gaze. Strangely, some people find this odd or even intimate in some way. I personally worked on eye contact, and I'll share what I do in a minute. But I think this one goes one of two ways with us INFJs. First, there are the INFJs who look into people's eyes, seemingly freaking them out. I used to fall into this category. Then there are the INFJs that have trouble making eye contact. My opinion is that we're trying to figure people out, their intentions, their motives, things like that. So naturally, we look them in the eye. However, some INFJs have had bad experiences with eye contact. They've noticed that people seem to get weirded out by it, that they think it's too intense or too intimate. So these INFJs have learned not to look people in the eye too often or for very long. What I think we should all do, from my research, is to look people in the eye about 70% of the time. Number 6, it takes time for INFJs to learn new things. And that's because we learn by pattern recognition. That's a very deep and intricate learning style, and it takes some time. And that means we start out looking like we're a little bit slow. So some of you may have fallen behind in school. You may have gotten behind your classmates at some time in your life. And I'm here to tell you, it's not because you're not intelligent. It's because of your learning style and the fact that you're fully understanding what you learn and connecting it with other things you've learned in the past. And once you start to catch on, you can soar past all the people around you. And you'll be able to draw conclusions from what you learn that other people can only dream of. So this is a superpower. It's not a disability. Number 7, INFJs run into walls. Okay, it doesn't have to be walls. I actually prefer door frames myself. Because we're in our heads so much, us INFJs can have a pretty hard time with our physical environment. And this is completely normal. After all, you can't be in 2 places at once. I also went on a falling spree when I first went off to college. I embarrassed myself a handful of times falling up steps, and I even fell in front of an intersection of stopped cars once. They laughed. I think this condition worsens when the INFJ is in front of a lot of people or under a lot of stress. My suggestion is to really slow down, get your mind in the present when you're in a stressful situation. That way you can avoid as many clumsy public events as possible. I've also ran over a few curbs in my day, which is the automotive equivalent of tripping on stairs. My recommendation, get an SUV. It's true that us INFJs have some traits that are different from other personality types, but they are completely normal to us. If you'd like to know 4 things that aren't true about INFJs, watch this video next.